If you want good electricity, don't come here. Checking the electrical. I hope I don't get electrocuted. Hey guys. Scott is doing something else we don't know anything about.
It's not focusing.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. I'm here, which means Sarah is going to get a backup truck. So let's see. Pulled back up. Because the truck was already crooked, you're coming back this way too quick. You're going to be in the water. Not bad. So the issue we're having is there's all this water here. And you can see where people have already sunk in over here. So we're trying to get it as far back in the side as we can because it's drier back
That's
here.
Really hard.
I know.
And then come straight back.
Okay. She's getting into it now.
Huh?
So you're getting into it now, aren't you? We're gonna have to swim to plug it in, but see, we're out of the water, so I think we're good. And then on this side,
look at this.
we're out of the water.
This is what they're intending to be your front yard.
Yeah, I know. Which it would be if it wasn't so muddy everywhere. Look at this. Flooding up north. We finally made it to Maine. This is Spacious Skies, Walnut Grove. It is a nice park. It's smaller than some of the Thousand Trails parks we've been at, but the internet is great. And Sarah backed the camper in. You can see it took forever. We tried and tried, and it was just tough because it was so wet. As you can see here, this is not our truck. We don't have a dually, but someone else had a similar struggle. So, but we got it in there. We're in a 50 amp site at Spacious Skies, which, to be fair, I really like the campsite. It's nice. We're right across from all the stuff the kids can play on. We can easily see them from our windows. But we're in a 50 amp site, but the 50 amp doesn't work. So we're in the 30 amp, which trips on and off because we have two ACs, obviously, so that's a problem. Now to use the Instant Pot, we have to hook it up to the 20 amp breaker. So I like this site. It's cool here, so we haven't really been bothered by the heat, but the whole electricity problem is an issue. They did say that if we left, they would reimburse us the money. And if we stick with it and just go 30 amp, they'll reduce the price. So they've been very accommodating. But when you're expecting to stay in a 50 amp site, and you end up staying in the 30 amp site, and the 20 amp breaker doesn't work. So, completely out of ideas. So we just had to hook it up and turn the AC off. Which, if you're gonna have to go without AC, I guess Maine is the state you want to be in. So we're gonna survive, but it's been a pain, which is unfortunate because I feel like this could be a really cool site, but apparently, if you want good electricity, don't come here.
Now that we have fully processed our stay at Spacious Skies, Walnut Grove, we wanted to re-emphasize the bad and talk about the little bit of good. We were supposed to be in Vermont. We had a reservation in Vermont for that week. A couple of days before we were supposed to leave, my mother-in-law called and said, hey, you know Vermont is flooding. I was like, okay. So I call the campground and they were like, yeah, I probably wouldn't come to Vermont right now. So they refunded our money and they let us cancel. So we were leaving in like 3 days and had no reservation. So I got in at Spacious Skies. It was one that we had originally made a reservation at, and then when we got a Thousand Trails reservation, canceled it because there's like a really small or maybe no cancellation fee. I had researched it before, because I had made a reservation at it, didn't see any issues, had a easy pull-through site right across from the playground, no issues, you know. But it had been raining a lot in Maine. So when we first get there, it was almost impossible to get leveled. Like Clint showed you, you know, all of our stuff kept sinking. You know, the site was like really meant for probably a much smaller, like it was a huge site, but it was probably meant for a much smaller camper. Like when we went out, like the site just kind of dropped off. Or maybe they built it up because of it flooding there. I don't know. Get our power hooked up, get in, no issues. We didn't have any issues the first day, did we?
No.
No, I don't think so. I think maybe the next day or so, all of a sudden, our electricity kept cutting off. Now, we have a surge protector. This is a really good example of why you want a surge protector. Our surge protector is good for surges, and I don't know what the opposite word is, but normally sites are close to 120, right? I don't know exactly what ours is. We have a Progressive Industries surge protector. When it goes over a certain voltage, it shuts off so that it doesn't like fry electronics in here. Well, if it drops below a certain voltage, it also shuts off our electricity. Now, the campsite was like, well, that's really not that big of a deal. You know, it's really only surges that you need to be worried about. You could just unplug your surge protector. Well, I looked into it. Anything with a compressor, like our ACs, our residential refrigerator, apparently can be like messed up, can like go out from low voltage. So no, we didn't unplug our surge protector. It was protecting, I mean that's the point of it. So it was protecting our electronics and things in our camper and shutting off. So we finally figured out, all right, let's unplug from the 50 amp, plugged into the 30 amp, but we could only run one AC. And the day that we did that, it was decent weather. It was like, okay, we'll be fine. It's just a few days. Because he was like, you can move. I do have one other site. You can move. Like we had to, you know, anytime we used the microwave, we had to turn off the air conditioner. And anytime we used the air fryer, we had to turn off the air conditioner. And, you know, but it was like high 70s. So, or like mid 70s, I think. It wasn't too bad. So fine. Well, then towards the end of the week, it started warming up. Like I think we were like high 80s some that week. Like it got hot in Maine, okay? But then the 30 amp power started messing up. So all of a sudden, we couldn't run the AC. Well, eventually, we've got almost everything in the camper off. Like our last 2 days, I think, there, the only thing that we could run in this camper was the fridge one afternoon. Like in the afternoons. Because like apparently it has to do with like other people on the same line or something. He refunded us the difference in reserving a 50 amp and a 20 or 30 amp and like, or maybe like a 20, I don't know. They gave us a discount. But I still paid like $400 or $500 for this week.
I think that they did say though that isn't it new ownership?
Yes, they
so
said.
I think they're gonna work on it, but apparently the sites that we were in, so there were 3. Maybe there was a 4th one.
Yeah, I think there was 4.
4, but I think they're on the end of their 50 amp run.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a person on this side and that side, both not using surge protectors.
Right.
So I think our surge protector was just like, what is going on? Just cutting off.
Yeah.
So.
Either way, we wouldn't stay there again. Right. The manager was really nice. Like I said, he did give us a discount. He seemed nice. But it was frustrating, you know. We try not to complain. I mean, I try not to be a face that the ownership or, you know, the rangers or whoever at the campsites know. You know, I was frustrated there a little bit.
It would have been way worse, but by the time it really started to fall apart, we only had 2 days till we were going to be in Moody Beach. So there was really no reason to freak out.
I freaked out.
You can recycle these for 5 cents. I made the claw. It looks like gooey. Ew.
It's so big, it's almost scary to pop it open, you know? Like I'm thinking there's going to be in it. Look at that.
It tastes tastes like how it smells.
Nice chunky piece.
Is that good or bad?
Kind of bad and kind of good. I'm gonna try it with butter. The butter tastes a lot better. Can you eat these little things?
Yes, it says you can take them off and kind of try to suck the meat out of them.
Yes. I want to know how you get it.
There's the thumb. They call that the thumb.
It just comes right
You
out
making
like
this up?
that. I was wondering how you
course.
got that.
Use these scissors. Which don't actually
That sounds hollow.
work.
Don't cut your finger.
Thanks, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Get in your eye?
They're very juicy.
At least it didn't get in my eye. This keeps splattering
We
on
got
me.
them steamed at the place, and they steam them in ocean water.
No,
Or with ocean water?
Maybe that's why it smells so
I should
weird.
change clothes. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my good shirt off and put some play clothes on real quick.
Tell us about it. Tell us about the notch on the tail that you've been dying to tell us. Tell the people at home what happened.
No.
Tell us.
If a crawfish has, or I mean a lobster or crawfish, I'm not sure which one it is.
Probably.
You're all confused now.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What happened? Just say lobster, and if you're wrong, everybody on the internet will say it. But Mom and Dad won't tell you. Go ahead.
There's like a little tool where it makes a little triangle in their tail. If they have eggs or if they already have one, you can't keep them.
So somebody does it. Somebody
Yeah.
puts the triangle.
Yeah.
So someone swimming in the ocean is tagging all of these lobsters with a triangle?
If they catch it.
Oh, I got you.
She said their claws regrow. She said that's probably why some of them are smaller.
What?
Because they've lost one.
One is like for pinching and eating stuff, and then one's just for protection.
Focus in. Look at that. That's 8
Do not put that on my.
or so pounds of
I said I don't.
lobster.
It's actually, well, I don't know how many pounds that is, but we
Look
bought
at this
13
little
pounds.
dingle
About
dangle.
13 pounds.
8 lobsters.
8 lobsters. So,
This little.
there you go. Left us with a whole bag of trash. So, a lot of shells. Super easy to peel, shockingly enough.
Look
Of
at
course,
that.
we got soft shell.
It's not focusing.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. Delicious. Harper?
Not a big fan, and neither is Lucas.
Or Thea.
Sarah is so mad, and I am so pleased. Because now we get to eat it all.
And my mom will be happy to know that we're bringing home lobster frozen for her some lobster rolls.
Delicious.
It's really good. Although I do think that we could have gone to Shane's of Maine and gotten them for cheaper.
How much did we spend?
102.
10, 20, 30. No, I don't think so.
They're very good.
I think I've already eaten $30 between me, Harper, and Thea. This is 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and I bet there's more up there.
So all I did, I got some Frankfurt rolls at Hannaford supermarket grocery store. We got the lobster already steamed. They steamed it for us at the Southern Maine Lobster Company. Clint picked them. I put butter on both sides of these. If you're from the South, you probably don't know what these are, what they look like. But so I put butter on both sides of them, and I toasted them. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. Toasted them in a pan on both sides, and then we got the butter that I used is clarified butter, ghee. And then I just put the lobster that we had cut up into the ghee, and then put it in here. We tried some with lemon, and Didn't like it with lemon on it, so that's it. It's literally, I mean, I bought special butter, but it's butter, the rolls, and lobster.
We got a soft shell.
Yeah.
Which apparently is also just like a newer shell.
Yeah, like they've molted recently.
So they were easy to peel.
Yeah.
I mean, I used scissors for some of the claws, but then later realized I could just break it easy, so.
I didn't do any of it.
Super easy to peel them.
We bought extra the last time and froze a lot. We're hoping to go home and feed everybody some lobster rolls when we get home. We'll see. He keeps begging me to defrost them and make him a lobster roll now.
I'm going to trade the lobster roll for fried shrimp, Mom. Yeah. Fisherman's Walk. I think that's what this is.
It's flying. That's a heron. See that thing flying right there with you? That's a heron. That's your last name, a heron. One.
Alright, northern viewers. Us Mississippi folk, all of these boats would be tied up to these docks. Do all of you have little boats to take you out to your bigger boats? How do you get to these boats? Mississippi, everything's in a harbor or on the pier. You never see boats just floating anchored out. Sarah gets scared on Wild Lucas, watch the air for a second. Heartburn. No better. Something woods, everybody. It's like a nature preserve or something. There was a sign back there that none of us read. So that was Stedman Woods. Very cool. Hey guys. Scott doing something else we don't know anything about. So our slide is not coming out even. This side is not coming out as far as the other side, which is making the front corner kind of poke out, and it's eating into our brand new floors.
This is the slide that keeps, I mean, this is the bolt that keeps the slide from falling off. That's like your lock nut, I think is what it's called. This one is like your actual, like keeps it tight when you adjust it. We're gonna move this out. We're gonna move this out some, because it's only off about a ½ inch or so, and then we're gonna see if that corrects it.
And then this stops it from going in too far.
Yeah.
And if this works, our other slide, the kid's bedroom, has the same problem. So, we'll see. So we found out how much further back we wanted this. We unscrewed this bolt, loosened it to where we wanted it. Then when we pulled the slide in just a little bit, it lined up with the new placement. So this is further this way than it was the first time. Now we're gonna tighten up this bolt to match it, and then we will pull the slide in and out to make sure it's aligned, and then we'll remeasure the full width to make sure both sides are the same distance. So it did work a little. So see this gap, this is real tight, the rubber piece in there. But on this side, it was not real tight. So this one was just loose. You could feel it really easy. So now it is tightened up, but it didn't tighten up as much as we need. So we're gonna do the same thing again, but then also when we pull it in, the top is in real tight, but the bottom is out a little bit. So we're gonna move the stopper, that big cylinder. I think if you just spin it, it'll go out more. which means more of the bottom will get pulled in, and that should fix the gap that we have between the slide cap and the camper when we pull them all the way in. So we will see. And so far all we've needed is this. So if this works, this is all we needed to adjust our slides. So hopefully it works. So what made us think to adjust the slide was this. So we just put these floors down. I don't know if you can see that little, it's like a cut. You can see underneath right there. So this piece was cutting into it. So we thought this must be up higher. Then we noticed the gap here was huge. Whereas on the other end, it's really small. So we adjusted it, and now they're a much better match. So they're not, this one's small, but the other one is also small. So, and now the floor is laying down much better. It was bumped up real bad. So I think it did actually work. So one other thing we had to do, this here. So that is your active side. That's the one with the nuts that we loosened, the stop. This is your manual side. So if this side is messed up, you loosen this one bolt, and then we just bumped it up a little bit, which helped push the slide in. So that's what closed that gap inside. So, and now it is lined up. The slide's measurement from side to side is within
like a quarter of an inch or an eighth
quarter
of an inch.
And apparently
like within a half inch is okay. So, but it looks a lot better. So we're happy.
So we're also going to do it in Lucas's room. So this part of the slide is in further than this part. So it's off by about half an inch, which is what the other slide was off by.
Yeah.
And so the way we could tell is that if you look at this gap here,
it's pretty much flush, and this looks good.
Yes, see, so it looks about like you would expect it to.
And this is pretty flush. I mean, it's going to have a little bit of a bump up, but it's pretty flush.
Right.
This
then
side,
on this end,
you can see it's up quite a bit.
Way up.
It's pretty big. It's starting to eat through the bottom of the floor here. So if you'll look, it's up on top of the plastic thing here, and it's supposed to be down in there and like sitting against it, and it's on top of it. So it really needs to go out a little bit. So yeah, and see, that's what it's doing to the floor. The slide ski, this thing is starting to eat into it.
So that's the same problem we were having on the other slide. And since that fix worked, now we're confident enough to fix this one. So, and some of you, maybe you know more than us, but we Googled it, and based on Lippert, their website, and several dudes on YouTube, this is how they did it. It worked on that slide, so we're going to do the same thing on this one.
Okay, so again, this is the manual side of this slide. So you look over there, there's like the little stop cylinder thing. This one really needs to come out a little bit. So we're going to adjust this one. He's going to loosen this, and we're going to like literally just bump it out a little bit, tighten it back up, and measure things again. So on this slide, we measured from here to the side of the camper, and it's 36.5 inches. On the other side, it's 37 inches. So like I said, we're going to try to bump this out a little bit. It obviously needs to come out. You can see that from the floor. So we're going to do that and check it then.
So earlier I said it was only this. Actually, for the manual side, we needed both.
What size is that?
This is a 3/4.
On ours.
And
1 inch?
yeah. See, that other one loosened up real easy.
Yeah.
There we go. That's gonna take some doing. See how whenever I loosened it, I already bumped out a smidge.
Alright, so this was a little less straightforward than the other side, we feel like. Clint he loosened this up, and he went inside and he was pushing on like the slide, you know, the trim, because that's like what's actually holding you know, that spot is what's actually holding the slide in, and not a lot was happening. So he came back out and we were like, I'm not sure. He kind of got under here and just pulled on this a little from the outside, and it did move some. So we're gonna, the measurement is still the same. It did move with him inside, but the measurement is still the same now. So he's going to just pull it in and put it out a couple times and see if it self-adjusts and see what it looks like then. So it only moved 1/8 and all that, and honestly I think it was the part where I said he reached under and pulled it. So we're going to loosen it up again and do that and see how it comes out. Alright, I'm honestly not hopeful. He did get it to move a little bit more, but it just, I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to fix the amount of difference, but hopefully it'll be a little bit better.
With the slides, we did get small adjustments. I think the living room slide, the dining room, was enough to be okay. The mid-bunk, I don't think it really moved at all.
Like 1/8 of an inch total.
I think that clamp moved. I'm not sure the actual slide moved
that's
at all. I don't know. We looked up a lot of videos and looked on the Lippert, like how they suggest you do it. That's what we did. So loosening the bolts on the active side and then moving the slide, and then loosening the one bolt and manually pushing on the other side. So not an adequate solution. So like we mentioned, we only even noticed it because of the new flooring we put down. And according to all the research that we've done, if it's within 1/2 inch, you're good to go. And both of ours are within 1/2 inch. So we really were just trying to protect our pretty new floors. So I think it would have been fine either way, but we just tried it because it looked like a pretty easy solution. I mean, you saw 2 wrenches, 3 bolts.
Yeah, and we just moved it a little. Like, he was really nervous and didn't want to do it. And I was like, let's just move it a tiny bit and then measure. Tiny bit and measure. And it was, like, on the living room or dining, whatever, it was making a little bit of a difference. So we just kept going a little bit at a time.
Yeah. If you know how to fix one, drop that in the comments and we can re-look at
if you have any suggestions.
Yeah, so hit us with those if you know. Or maybe there's a way you lay vinyl flooring better over those slides.
Yeah,
like
we did
double layer.
So much research.
Don't know.
But not a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to put in the vinyl plank, but that stuff's really heavy. And so we didn't want to go that route, you know. We were trying to put in equal weight to the carpet and all, you know, comparable stuff, so.